Oh, God, I love bacon. I love it so much.
Sir, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to talk about the uniform standards. I think we should move to more subdued colors and not use solid colors. It would make it safer for our officers in combat situations, and it wouldn't make the bridge look like a Christmas festival.
Well, Barclay, I think you got a good point there. Let's go ahead and change the scheme to gray.
Oh no, we can't do that. That would make parties so dull, and then how could you tell on the TV screen? No, they should all be fanciful colours like blue and yellow and red.
Excuse me? Who are you?
Oh, that's our newest recruit. Yeah, I got a fresh new face to shut up those old fuddy-duddies and beta males who can't score talking about how sexist the channel is. Now we have a very attractive woman who will shame them into shutting up.
Sir, literally everything about that statement is the very definition of sexism, and she isn't even in Starfleet attire. And you broke the fourth wall.
Are you slut-shaming her?
Don't you slut-shame me, Toxicology.
Why, Barcodily! How dare you put down this beautiful young woman that I hired specifically to shut up people about the channel. I want all bright colors, Roxley. All bright colors. We'll change it after a huge war with the Gamma Quadrant Power after getting tens of thousands of officers killed.
Just go to your happy place. Go to your happy place. Other YouTube channels have to be hiring.
What's up, Lore Masters? Today's video is brought to you by a Counselor of the Lore. You can become a Counselor of the Lore and have your video requests brought to the front of the line by pledging at patreon.com/Lore Reloaded. Today we'll be analyzing Starfleet's uniforms and any connection that they may have with real life. Now, while going through the lore and researching, I found that there is some connection, but unfortunately it doesn't stay that way for very long. Whether by design or not, the type of uniform utilized can be directly linked to the military troubles of Starfleet throughout the different eras. With few exceptions, it's pretty easy to tell if Starfleet is currently engaged in a drawn-out conflict just based on how brightly colored the uniforms they are wearing are. The first uniforms observed are in the 22nd century and started with the United Earth's Starfleet. These uniforms were worn during an era when the United Earth just had begun to move beyond its borders. According to Memory Alpha, the official Enterprise-era uniforms were adopted around 2143. These uniforms would be consistent across starships, outposts, and Starfleet Command. So all like 2 outposts that they had, the 1 starship, and 1 starbase that they all owned. So yeah, a lot of territory there. Taking a look at what they were wearing specifically, under the uniform jumpsuit there would be a black button-up turtleneck, blue pants with pockets, and black boots. The uniform blue jumpsuit displayed the specific division of service as a part of the piping on the shoulders, the different colors including gold for command division, red for operations, and blue for the sciences. And you would also have red and white for flag officers. The United Earth Starfleet uniform also bore several distinctive features not present in most future iterations, mainly the fact that you had zippers and pockets. I mean, they were basically savages. Those monsters. Also, God, wearing that thing must have been hot as hell. These would be the uniforms that closely resembled military uniforms from the 21st century, including that of NATO and the United States military. Because no one wants to be in a Russian uniform, am I right? By the 2160s, the uniform would be updated to have epaulets on the shoulders. And yeah, I didn't know what that was either, but Memory Alpha and 700 other websites say they were there, so there you go. Additionally, a name tag would be worn inside the piping above the left breast. For aliens, uniforms would be adapted to ensure that horny teenagers would enjoy the show. Uniforms would be adapted to ensure that horny 30-somethings would enjoy the show. Species of different cultures would be allowed to wear a modified uniform of the flight suit because... I don't know, cultural sensitivity? As discussed, the United Earth didn't know what it was getting into, and the uniforms reflected a more military outlook, along with a submariner feel. It was pretty realistic. So, in the 2160s and 2230s, there is a claim that there was some type of uniform change in both eras. However, the only references to this that I could find are from the alternate JJ verse. Given my stance on Alpha Canon, I don't currently consider this to be prime timeline, so I'm going to skip these. But I did want to note it here for you in case you wanted to do your own research. Additionally, the changes from the 2230s don't really make a ton of sense to me when moving from the 2230s to the 2240s. It would be somewhat of a gaffe or some real hand-holding for that to make sense. So, in the 2240s, Starfleet would adapt an almost entirely new uniform, and this uniform still makes sense to me. Moving on from the United Earth to the United Federation of Planets, you'd have several different scientific and militaristic entities coming together. Changing from a jumpsuit to more of a uniform makes sense. Additionally, the coloring scheme is odd, but still seems apt. The schemes would move to gold for command, copper for operations and engineering, as well as silver for sciences. And the coloring here would be subtle and on the piping and Delta badge and nowhere else. The actual rank would also be on the Delta badge as well, which does make a little sense to me too. The coloring scheme on the uniforms is subtle enough that during a combat situation it may be hard to delineate between who is in command and who is not, but it's noticeable enough to be recognized during standard operations. Per Memory Alpha, the standard duty uniform was a Federation blue jacket and pants with raised division-colored striping encircling the shoulders. It would have 5 stripes for men and 4 stripes for women. Wow, how very sexist of them. These stripes would run from the shoulders down the side seam of the jacket and pants and raised division-colored zipper closure, running slightly diagonally from the center line of the jacket at the bottom right of the corner. The pants featured front thigh pockets and also division-colored zippers. Additionally, this uniform would have what is basically described as a tactical gear set that would have a vest over a one-piece with protection and pouches that could be utilized. Medical uniforms would be drastically different, however, all white with silver piping, and honestly, I don't have an issue here either. While you wouldn't want to highlight command officers, distinguishing medical personnel seems smart. I mean, for most combat situations anyway. Most species, one would hope, would not kill doctors on the field. There were also black uniforms that made the person stick out like a sore thumb. These are thought to be Section 31 or Starfleet security, but there's no definitive answer as of the uploading of this video. In fact, it would not be uncommon to see someone in a 2240s uniform during the 2250s, and you could even see some of the variants of the 2250 uniforms in the 2240s. The uniforms of the 2250s would be bright colors that would quite clearly define the division of each officer. The coloring scheme had cadets dressed in gray, command division was green. What do you mean they didn't look green on screen? What do studio lights have to do with anything? Command colors for this era were yellow or gold, with some variants being green. Security and engineering were red, and science and medical wore blue. The Starfleet cadet uniform consisted of a tunic top. The material had a black V-shaped collar and black trousers. Additionally, a type of star-like emblem would be on the left breast. Again, per Memory Alpha, because they honestly have the best description, the standard duty uniform consisted of a dark gray or blue trousers with a division color top. A patch, based on the assignment, would be moved to the chest showing what ship, starbase, or planet the person had been assigned to. Rank was displayed via sleeve stripes, which is an interesting choice, making it harder to identify whom was in command, but also meaning that officers would often have to look at the hands of other fellow officers. Wow, I'm not even all the way through. I tell you what, we're going to end it right here because we're not even halfway through of the changes in the 2260s, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.